Howdy y'all, welcome to your first math video. Hope you guys are excited as I am for all of this. Okay, so first things first, I want you to look up here in the top right corner of your screen in this green box. It says 0.1, so this is the section we're going to be working on. This is chapter 0, section 1. Okay, we're starting in chapter 0 because I just want to review a couple of things before we move on to the 9th grade material, which is in the 9th grade book. So this is just mostly a review, so hopefully you should recognize a lot of the stuff that we're doing. Okay, so the first thing is solving two-step equations. So first, we have a couple of properties that we need to go over. So the addition property of equality, division, multiplication, and subtraction properties of equality. Okay, so when it's a property of equality, basically that means you're doing something to an equation that keeps it equal or equivalent. So if we look at this box right here, we want to match these together. So our original equation is 1/2 x equals 10. And then notice we're timesing both sides by 2. Multiplying both sides by 2. Okay, so because we multiplied both sides by 2, that follows the multiplication property of equality, which says if you multiply the equation on both sides with the same number, then it remains the same. Okay, this one right here, if you notice, we have 3x equals 9. And then we have this fraction divided by 3. So this fraction line just means divide. Okay, we divide 3 to both sides and it keeps it the same. So that is the division property of equality. So that goes here. Boom, boom. Okay, next box, we have x plus 3 equals 1. Okay, notice we are subtracting 3 here and subtracting 3 here. Okay, so that would be the subtraction property of equality because we're subtracting 3 to both sides. It's going to keep it equal. And then the last one, x minus 5 equals 6. Then we add 5 to both sides. So that follows the addition property of equality. Alright. Okay, onward. Whoops. Okay, so a two-step equation contains two operations. So an operation is like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, etc. In the equation 2x plus 3 equals 7, x is multiplied by 2, and then 3 is added. So that's your first step. First step is multiplying by 2, second is adding 3. To solve two-step equations, you undo each operation in reverse order. So looking at that, I'm going to solve this equation here. The first thing I like to do is find my equal sign, draw a little squiggly line down it, just like so. I find my x, which is here, and now I know I need to get x by itself. So I need to get rid of everything that's bothering x, which in this case is the 2 and the 3, because they're both on the left side of that squiggly line. Okay, so I'm going to do this in reverse order. So originally it was 2x plus 3. So I need to get rid of the plus 3 first. Okay, it's furthest away from the x. That's the last thing we did. So I'm going to get rid of the plus 3 by doing the opposite operation and subtracting 3. Negative 3 minus 3. Boom, boom. 3 minus 3 is 0, so let's cancel. But I still have a 2x left over here from this guy. Nothing's happened there. 7 minus 3 is 4. This line means my equal sign. So now we have 2 times x equals 4. So to solve that, we're going to divide by 2. Divide by 2, since it's multiplication originally. Those cancel. Boom, boom. We get x equals 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Hurrah. And then we can check that by plugging it back into the original equation for x. So we get 2 times x, which we said is 2. And then plus 3 equals 7. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 plus 3 is indeed 7. So that checks out. Check, check. Okay, so that is a two-step equation. Alright, so I want you to go ahead and pause the video and try these two problems on your own, and I will do them, and we'll see if we get the same answer. So go ahead and pause this in 3, 2, 1, pause. Alright, welcome back. Hopefully you've solved both of those two-step equations and got x equals 6 and n equals negative 3. Okay, you can see my work here. If you were confused, go ahead and pause it, review my work, see if you can get the gist of that. Okay, on we go. Tally-ho. Okay, next one, we have this fraction, so it might be a little scary, but that's okay. We can do scary things. First step, little line down the equal sign. And now in this case, my variable is n, right there. So I need to get rid of the fraction 1/4 and the minus 3 here. So first I'm going to get rid of the minus 3 by doing the opposite and adding 3 to both sides. Okay, and that's because the 1/4 n, they're kind of connected together as one term. So I get rid of the minus 3 by adding 3. 25 plus 3 is 28. I still have my 1/4 n here. However, minus 3 and plus 3, those cancel out, so we don't have any of that left. Okay, now I've got this fraction. So last time we divided by the 2, I think it was, to get n by itself. With a fraction, you could divide by a fraction, but that kind of gets sort of ugly because we don't want to go like divide by 1/4. That kind of looks weird. So instead of dividing by a fourth, I'm just going to multiply by its reciprocal. And if you remember, a reciprocal is when you flip the fraction. You just swap these guys. So we go 4 over 1. And I'm going to multiply this side by 4 over 1. So this is the multiplication property of equality. That 4 and that 4 cancel, because one's on top and one's on bottom. That one and that one cancel, which the ones don't really mean anything anyway. But now we have n by itself. So n equals 28 times 4, which is something that I could do in my head. I'm not going to, because it's really late in the day. Okay, n equals 112. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Next, I'm going to let you guys try this, okay? So go ahead and pause this, and we will reconvene after you're finished. Okay, go ahead and pause this in 3, 2, 1, pause. Alright, so for the first one I got a equals negative 20 because I subtracted 9 from both sides, and then I multiplied by the reciprocal of 1/2, which is 2 over 1, or just 2. The second one I got r equals 30 because I added 5 first, and then I multiplied by the reciprocal of 2/5, which is 5/2. And if you notice on this part right here, my 12 and my 2, when I multiply those together, this is like 12 over 1. So my 12 and my 2 can cross cancel, because 2 goes into 12 6 times, so that's why I have 6 here, 1 here. And then 6 times 5 is 30, so that's where I get r equals 30 for that one. Alright, next. Okay. So with this one, there's no fractions, so that's fun. Squiggly line. Okay, here's our x. So I'm going to get rid of the negative 3 and the 6. So to get rid of the 6, because it's the furthest away, it's a positive 6 because there's another one negative before it. The negative comes after it, so that doesn't matter. It's positive 6. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. These cancel. I get negative 3x equals 15. Okay. An important part is to remember that this negative has to stay with the 3 because the 3 comes after it. So these two things stay together. Okay. So then to get rid of the negative 3x, we don't add 3. We actually divide by negative 3 because it's negative 3 times x. Cancel. So we get x equals 15 divided by negative 3 is negative 5. Okay. Alright. Next. Okay. I will do E with you, and then I'll let you try F and G by yourself. Okay, so with E, I have to get the P by itself, so I got to get rid of the negative or the 10 first. So I'm subtracting because it's positive 10. Cancel. So I'm left with a negative 2/3 P equals 42. So then to get rid of the negative 2/3, I'm going to multiply by its reciprocal because it's a fraction. And I'm going to flip that and multiply it by negative, oops, that's a big negative sign, negative, oh wow, 3/2. So I'm going to multiply this side by negative 3/2. Okay, this will cancel the fraction out. I'm left with P over here. 42, we can put this as a fraction itself by putting it over 1. It will cancel, 42 and 2 will cross cancel, and that will make 21 over 1. And then 21 times negative 3 gives us negative 63. Voila. Alright. Okay, so you guys go ahead, try F and G, and I will erase this and do it myself, and we'll come back together. And pause this in 3, 2, 1, pause. Alright, so for F I got x equals 7. I subtracted 2 from both sides and then divided by negative 3. For G, I added 2, and then I multiplied by negative 3, since the negative 3 was on the bottom. To cancel out the fraction, I multiplied by negative 3, and I got n equals 48, positive 48. Alright, last one I think. Nope, we got 2 more actually. Okay, Chicago's lowest temperature in degrees Fahrenheit is negative 27 degrees. Solve the equation negative 27 equals 1.8 C plus 32 to convert to degrees Celsius. Okay, so we want to know what it is in Celsius, or C, because this is our Fahrenheit degrees right there. Okay, so draw my line, boom, boom. I need to get rid of the 1.8 and the 32, so I'm going to subtract 32 first. Subtract 32. That gives me a big negative number over here, and that one cancels, so I'm left with 1.8c. Negative 27 minus 32 is going to be negative 59. And then my last step, I divide by 1.8, because it's 1.8 multiplied by c. And that will cancel there. So we'll get Celsius temperature is, let's see, negative 59 divided by 1.8, which is negative 32.78. Hope that's right. I mean, the math looks right, so I guess so. So about negative 32.78 degrees Celsius. It's degrees in. Alright, next one, last one. So we have this last one here, which is a minus 4 all over 5 equals 12. So the first step in this one, notice you have the 5 down here and the minus 4 up here. So you got to think of what's happening first. So first you're doing the a minus 4, and then you're dividing all that by 5. So you got to undo that backwards. So technically we have to get rid of the 5 first, because it's technically furthest away, because this is all grouped together like that in parentheses. Okay, so to get rid of a division, or a fraction line, we just do multiplication. So I multiply both sides by 5. Look, here's my 5. Multiply this side by 5. Okay, these 5's cancel, and then I'm left with a minus 4 equals 12 times 5, which is 60. Last step, I add 4 to both sides, and we are left with a equals 64. And I believe that is all for now, folks. Okay, so go ahead and make sure you guys do the Canvas quiz after this. Okay, don't just watch the video and not do the quiz, because you want to get full credit for it. Okay, and then keep track of your notes. Okay, clip them into your 3-ring binder. Okay, and I will see you all next time I see you. Thanks for watching. Au revoir. Adios.